Good morning. Good morning, Agape. Good morning, my family. I could get weepy when I just say good morning to you. Thank you. Thank you. Reverend Jason, Reverend Cynthia, thank you. Thank you for all those prayers. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so happy to be right here. I am so happy to be right here. So I want to ask you, because I love that Reverend Michael starts us with this wonderful topic, what you are looking for. So let me ask you a couple questions. Was anyone looking this morning to wake up on a beautiful Sunday morning? Yes, you found it. Anyone looking for a wonderful spiritual community that you call home that reminds you who you are the second you walk in the door? And you found it. Anyone looking for in your life the divine partnership that may be sitting right next to you right now or on home on the couch and they're sitting next to you right now? Anyone have that happen to them? So you're catching what you are looking for, you will find it. This is a law. This is a beautiful law that where our energy is, our attention is at, we are drawing to us by the natural order of the universe, this beautiful action of Spirit bringing through us all that we pray for, ask for. So the joy is we get to constantly look at where are we living in gratitude for what we've been looking for is right here. How many of you have noticed in your life, this happens to me all the time, it actually makes me laugh now, that I think I'm looking for something. I'll have it in my mind. I'll think, I got to go out and buy that. I need that. I don't know where that's at. I really need to have that. And always, within a day, a month, 6 months, I turn another corner in my house. Now that I could say that, I turn another corner and I'm like, oh, it's right here. It's right here. It happened this morning. I was in the back green room. I looked up and went, oh no. I forgot my chapstick. I can't speak on stage without my chapstick because I talk so much. And all of a sudden I was like, okay, let me text Lee. I can find a solution. And I opened my bag, a bag I never used, the very bottom. I was like, thank you, God. Brand new chapstick. Whatever we are looking for is always coming towards us. Your attention is your powerhouse. You are the one that has the power within you to continually create. We came here as magnificent co-creative beings. We were birthed to create more. Our moreness of us, we are the more that God has birthed through so that we come through our mamas to co-create with the Almighty Source over and over and over again and to celebrate every opportunity we can. Now, if there's any place in your life that you've been looking at right now and you're thinking, was I looking for that? Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Sometimes we look at the circumstances that landed in front of us and we could think, wait a minute, I wasn't looking for that. And it found me. And many times when that occurs, I'm inviting us to step back and pause and ask another question. What is going on within me? What am I thinking? What's bubbling up that maybe I'm unconscious to? Because we're creating, Reverend Michael touched on it last week, consciously or unconsciously, we are creating. And sometimes things occur in our life that somebody else may have created and they land right on our front porch. And when that happens, we have the opportunity to remember that we don't have to fall victim to anything. We could wipe our perceptual blinds, take a breath, lean into our practice, and begin again. And when we begin again, everything shifts in front of us because we go through the circumstances instead of being taken down by them. Our practice lifts us over and over and over again to know that we are constantly looking at, what am I creating? And is this what I wish to create? And if it's not, that we love ourselves so much that we come back to center and simply look at it and begin again. In my life, I've been told for years, I think it started at a really young age, that I had like this magical thinking. Like people would say like, oh yeah, she's always just real positive. She's that positive one. She's the one that's doing things in life that she's kind of like in the, up in the clouds. Then when I started diving deeper in my spiritual practice, then it was put on that. Then it was like, oh, she's talking about all that spiritual talk again. She's just in the air talking about everything. My family, extended family, for many years, always knew Kimmy's coming over and she's a little odd, what she's practicing right now. She may talk about weird things. She may start saying magical things and things are just going to occur and solve themselves. We'll just let her think that. Until things started happening in my family. And over years, when things started happening in family and someone was in the hospital and someone was sick, someone made their transition. The next thing you know, my family's like, Kimmy, we need you to get to the hospital. We need you to take care of this because Grandma just passed. Suddenly, the thinking I was about became normalized because the circumstances called for it to be normal. So we must continue to know that no matter what looks like outside, that it looks like we're, oh my goodness, at times I was called, oh yeah, she's just Miss PMA, Pollyanna. Well, guess what? My focus was on what I desired. My focus was on the path of, I see the circumstances. I'm not oblivious to knowing when there's illness, when there's hardship, when something is occurring. But my action comes from, I'm committed to stay focused on God. And God, in the midst of every circumstance, always lifts us up and through them so that what appears to be magical is simply normalized. Reverend Michael will say, let's normalize the miraculous. Well, the miraculous comes from magical knowing, magical practice. So when I say to you, yeah, we're living in this hocus pocus, would you please focus? What I'm aiming for is that this thing that looks like it's magical, this thing that looks like miracles are occurring all around us, and we pause and say, whoa, I prayed for this. I prayed for a community, and I found Agape. I prayed for health and wholeness, and my body temple is healing. That to others in the world, it could feel like, did that really happen? Yes, it is. We get to normalize our lives as being one with source, so source by source that we know the truth always more than anything that appears before us. Many of you know that recently I had the opportunity, due to a wonderful, beautiful challenge in life, to rebuild my home. And the one thing I was asked was that when the designers came with the builder, and the designer looked at me, and I'll do my very best in his Italian voice, he said, what kind of furniture are you going to put in this house? And I looked at him and I said, I have no furniture. It's all gone. Everything's destroyed. How can you ask me that question? He said, I need to know what's the size of furniture you put in your house. Making your house too small for big furniture. I said, okay, I understand. So I looked at that time, and there's only one thing I said to him. I said, the only thing I know that has to be in this house is the biggest dining room table so that everyone could sit at it. I want a huge dining room table, then owls fly through and drop love notes in the middle of the dining room table. And he looked at me and he says, Hogwarts. And I said, oh my gosh, you're the perfect designer for me. Yes, just like in Hogwarts. And if you could have the candles floating all around the room, that would be magical as well. So ends up, in the beauty of life, there was a focus. That's all I knew at the time, was I want a dining room table. I want my family and friends and loved ones to sit around it for hours. I want comfy chairs so that we could talk and love and appreciate life over and over and over again. Last month, I was sleeping in bed. I didn't know I wanted upstairs. He gave me an upstairs. That's pretty magical too. And from bed, I hear the whoo, whoo, 3 in the morning. 3 in the morning. I open my eyes, and from bed, I look out, and this majestic owl is sitting right on top of the chimney, just looking in like, you asked for us to come. Now, I, of course, said, I thought you were going to fly down through the chimney and drop love notes all the way across the dining room table, but I'm grateful to be right here to know you showed up. We get to pay attention to where our attention is because the universal field is always saying yes. I said owls dropping love notes, and they're dropping love notes. So whatever oddness that looks like, whatever magical thinking that is, it's creating a life that I love. Each and every one of us has the opportunity to aim over and over again, to see so clearly without limits. There is nothing too big for the presence within you. Each and every one of you have the power within you to create. We came here to create. You know, it's interesting that at the Rhythmia Life Advancement Center, which I am honored to be the facilitator of Reverend Michael's beautiful work there, his teaching there is the answer is you. I love that. So every week when I get to teach so many individuals, I get to teach about the answer is you. To bring people back to the center of here resides the answers to all that we are seeking, that Spirit within us is waking us up to remember that we are not victim, that we are absolutely manifesting with every moment we are breathing, that we are the channels of our creativity to stand in our being nature and allow absolute divinity to flow through us. So I can't call it a job. I have no desire to call it work. When someone says to me, Kim, you've been there for a couple of years now, are you done? I kind of giggle and say, I don't want to ever be done. This is honorable acts of service. So the beautiful thing is what I didn't know was that years ago, before I ever found Agape, I had prayed to be of service. I didn't know how. I didn't know what that meant. I knew that I wanted to be of service to humanity. I knew that I wanted to be in the presence of others while they woke up to their brilliance. I knew that the vision of God was bigger than I could understand at the time, so I was just willing to surrender without any idea what that meant. And what occurred? Somehow, I found my way to Agape by looking in the back of that Science of Mind magazine. Does anyone remember that magazine? I have really great news. That many years ago, I had an intention to, I just want to be a writer and the submitter in this magazine. I'd love to be in this magazine. Oh my gosh, all about Ernest Holmes. This month, I am a writer in the magazine. Took a while, but it's what you're looking at, I will find, is my point. So in the back of that wonderful magazine, it says Agape had just been formed to go right here, and I found Agape. And then over the years, I've found the honor of being a practitioner and was absolutely blessed to be with so many other individuals to walk this path as a practitioner. And then so many years later, when Reverend Michael said, I want you to study to be a minister, I was like, oh, I'm going to breathe deep right about now. I'm going to take a whole bunch of deep breaths. I hadn't seen that yet, but I trust him and said, yes, yes, yes. And years later was the, okay, now, please, we want you to go to Costa Rica. The aim I could not see. I didn't know Agape existed. Rhythmia did not exist at the time. Yet what I was looking for me. Do you catch that? What you are looking for, the desire, the joy, the passion, the love to be of service, your partnership, your divine health and wholeness, all that you are looking for that's bubbling up inside of you in the loud moments and in the quiet moments. Be still to catch that when it is coming to you, that you are ready to say your sacred yes, that you are willing to know, I don't need to know how to say yes. I could just say yes. There's 3 wonderful steps that I want us to look at when we are looking at what we are looking for. The first one is we have to clean up our perceptual blinds. We are creating through the perceptions we have. If we have a perception that something is hard, it's going to be hard. If we have a perception that, I can't do that, that's just not for me, then it won't happen. We get to constantly clean our perceptual blinds so that instead of seeing this is the path I'm to be on, that we start to see this. That we start to open up and take deep breaths when we catch ourselves. If we ever catch ourselves in a sense of limitation, if something comes out of our mouth, Don Miguel Ruiz says, this is one of our greatest powers, is the word, and it is magic. And if something comes out of our mouth that doesn't honor what we are truly wishing to create, we must pause, take a breath, clean it up, and begin again. I can't tell you how many times I could be in the middle of teaching and say, whoa, hold up. Whew, can I please say that again? Because I want to be alert to what is coming out of my thinking through my language because I am creating. So our perceptual blinds get to be cleaned up daily, and our spiritual muscle is what helps us clean our perceptual blinds because we're listening, we're getting clarity on what was happening in our lives, and by the clarity we seek, we can come back to center to know what must grow in me right now, what must grow in me because what I'm calling forth isn't exactly what I was praying for. So what is to be birthed in me so that I am the receiver to understand the path before me to receive what I desire? Our perceptual blinds must be cleaned. Forgiveness must happen. We must allow ourselves to forgive ourselves so that we can become back to center and catch all that Spirit has for us. daily, regularly. Through all acts of building our spiritual practice, we clean our perceptual blinds. The next thing is we must always, always have a very clear aim. Clarity is power. I used to just say my intention was for clarity, until once clarity hit me so solid that I caught, that's what I'm supposed to do? And then right then I knew, I should have prayed for courage, because I need courage right about now. So I invite everyone that when we have an intention for clarity, that you back it up with, my intention is to call forth divine clarity and the willingness to live what comes, the courageous strength to live what comes. We must have a clear aim. Your intention must be clear on what you are looking for. And you base it on the qualities, you base it on the true depth of source of what you're desiring, whether it's abundance, health, peace, relationship, wholeness. You aim very clearly without limitations and without asking how. You aim and let go. I aimed to be of service years ago, had no idea how, and I'm eternally grateful to be right here in the now. Each of you can think of that place where you aim, and where was I so clear in my aim? And there it showed up. It showed up. We get to keep checking ourselves if something shows up and just isn't right there, that we just love and begin again. Get clear on your aim. Set intentions that are based in the qualities you desire to experience in life, so that that vibrational match is the natural order of your life. See, when we aim clearly for, my aim is for State's financial abundance, and we bless our body, temples, our minds, our soul to feel the abundance of life, to understand, I want to feel, I want to become the match of it. When that occurs for me and there's any lack going on, I get to nature as fast as I possibly can. Because when I'm in nature, I can see the abundance of the universe. When I'm in nature, I can feel the grains of sand under my toes and know, okay, God, I got it. If this is abundance here and I am one with all of this, then the abundant nature of the universe is flowing through me as these grains of sand are going through my toes. Is this making sense? So you are to match the vibration of what you desire and to stay there as long as you can in deep levels of meditation. Oh, I just had a giggle. I was meditating a few days ago out on my porch right about the time that beautiful earthquake came in and shook us awake. Is everybody good? It's a little wake-up call. To just give us a little jolt to remind us who we are. I was so grateful I was in meditation. But our meditation of coming back to center, to knowing I am becoming the vibrational match of all that I desire, so that the landing pad is ready for it to come rushing to me, because I've already said yes in spirit, and spirit knows I've already said yes, so it's coming right now. Sometimes people will say to me, clients will say, Kim, I've been praying for this, I've been asking for this, and it's not here yet. Actually, all sorts of other things showed up that I didn't want. And that's when Reverend Michael teaches us. Anything that doesn't match the vibration of what you are calling forth must come up to be released, so it's out of the way, so your landing pad is ready. So know that if it comes up to be released, that you have an opportunity to release it. That if it comes up and it's something that's not what you desire, that you come back to catching, loving, setting your aim clear as ever, and allowing anything to be released that no longer serves, so that you are in alignment to be the receiver that you are. Now, the third thing, besides cleaning up our perception, besides being very clear on our aim, is that we must, and this one sometimes gets us, we absolutely must let go of the how is this going to happen. It's none of your business how it's going to happen. Now, sometimes at Rhythmia, people come to this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place, and this is where we get caught up, because they may say to me, how's this going to happen? I came here. This is hard. Rhythmia is this beautiful, wonderful retreat center. In case you haven't know the details, 1 week you come to change your life, and people come there to change their lives. All sorts of people, different ages, different professions. Reverend Michael's work is the foundational piece to assist people. So as they have evenings filled in ceremony and breath work and yoga and all sorts of things, and they come for their healing, they then come to class to understand what was going on. So the honor to be with them while they're aiming to understand is the foundational piece of all their spiritual practices, so they can take their insights, understand them, heal, and move on with bold tools to live what they caught, not just know it. So many times on a Tuesday or Monday, I'll say to them, so what was your intention in coming here? Now, I ask this question for a very specific reason. I would like to invite individuals to know, what were you looking for? What are you looking for? Because when they know what they're looking for, they just went from perception clean to aim. I came here to get healed. I came here to understand. I came here to release the grief of losing someone that I loved so much. I came here to heal my body temple. When they know and we aim for the qualities in their aim, they then say, but it's now Wednesday or Thursday, Kim, and I don't feel it yet. How's it going to happen? And right about then, I get to breathe with them and say, I'm going to invite you so gently, with so much love. Please hear me with love. I'm asking you to take that word and stick it straight out the door. I give them a few other words too. But is another one of them, to just stick it out the door this week. It is not any of our business how it's going to happen. And this is why. Because when we try to figure it out, we're not surrendered. When we try to calculate it off, I go in this direction, and then I turn left there, and then I come here. Let GPS do that. You just stay focused on, wait a minute, my aim is this divine healing and wholeness. My aim is here. And when you lean into surrender, you then allow the presence that knows no absence to flow through you and co-create with you something you never could have imagined. Ever could have imagined. If you were in service last week, you heard Reverend Michael speak to this, where he said, here he was sitting with His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and in a wonderful moment, and he had a moment of, how'd I get here? Which I love that he shared that with us. Because in the moments that we pause and think, wow, this was bigger than I ever knew. This was bigger than I ever knew. Spirit wants to bring through you more than you have even seen, heard, thought of ever. And when we let go of the how and just trust and surrender, when I say lean in, just lean into that presence, then we're letting go of control. We're letting go of how to figure it out just perfectly and trying to do anything just perfectly. What if we threw away it had to be perfect and it's perfectly imperfect because we're playing with magic to allow Spirit to co-create through us? We are here to surrender again and again and again. And guess what? Beautiful muscle gets to be built every single time we surrender. The lovely muscle of faith and trust in a presence that loves us so much that will never leave us and is absolutely going to co-create something so huge that your mind will be blown. I'm not sure, but I got to ask Jamie if he knew that song was coming through him 5 years ago, 10 years ago, whenever before he created it, or if his surrender allowed it to flow through him bigger than he knew. I could ask he and his beautiful wife, Reverend Susie, when we met, it was on Olympic as Agape was birthing into beauty. And neither of the three of us knew at that time we'd be right here, but the beauty is Spirit did. God knew it all along and is continuing to know through you everything that you are aiming for. And with the let go, which when you're at Rhythmia, stage 3, spiritual growth and development is absolute surrender. You've got to let go. When we let go to our stage of channeling, we allow something so big to be birthed. And that birth thing of us grows us and stretches us. It stretches us in magnificent ways. And when we allow it to have its way, something magical comes up and blows our perceptual limitations. And from that moment onward, we can choose, consciously choose, to allow this to be the normalcy of where we live. We do not have to go back and think, I better go figure all this out again. I better track down how that happened, and maybe that person did that over here, or who knows how. We just get to normalize, this is where I live. My clients that I have the joy of being with, from children that are 10, 11, 16, up to mature adults that will come to me and say, it's working. This is all working. I got the job. My body's healed. My relationships are different. Someone said to me the other day, I had the first family visit that went smoothly. I practiced everything you said. Imagine if we could enter into our families and drop any expectations and be so present that our aim is to be present, to be clear, to be loving, and to be so connected to others that it's not based on anyone has to do any certain thing for us to be happy. We have to practice. We have to build spiritual muscle, whether it is in our families, whether it's in our businesses. I had a man come to me once at Rhythmia, and he said, Kim, this is all really great. It's really great for like a little flower shop or, someone has a little business or, but not me. He goes, this is not going to work for me. I'm like a, multi-million-dollar company. And I said, and I just listened, and we started to work together. Very soon, he started writing intentions. He started writing his acknowledgments. He started writing what he's grateful for. Very soon after that, the email came to, I just doubled my business. I take it back. Guess what? It doesn't have to be a flower shop. It's whatever it is. It's the law in motion, and it isn't based on the size of whether it's a child drawing a picture or someone who's running for the presidency. It doesn't matter. It's we are standing centered to activate spirit with every breath and cleaning up our perception, checking ourselves like, whew, did I mean that? Let me come back to center. Okay, good. I was clear on that. Now what is my aim? I'm going to stay clear on my aim and my intention. And then I'm letting go. Let go again and again and again and be completely blissed out when you see the miracles show up. Somebody asked me, a few beautiful souls that I love so much, asked me today, so is your house done? How is it? Every day, I wake up and say, thank you, God. Thank you, God. I don't know all the workings of how it happened, but I know that 5 years ago, I could not have known what I know now. I know that 3 years ago, when it was like, oh, I don't know, it's going to get finished, I couldn't have known what I know now. That we build faith and trust in God with every challenge, that we bring our practices to the circumstances. We build faith and trust. Come back to center, check our muscles, and do it again and again. This beautiful thing occurred this week, and I was looking at, I keep my journals from when I'm sitting right here and listening to Reverend Michael, and I have for years, and other great teachers, and I date them and put the teacher's name and the minister that was speaking, and it always brings me right back to, remember that moment. Oh, I'm so grateful that pearl that they gave me. I was looking at the talk that we're talking about today, and I looked back, and it was a journal from 2006. And in it, we were in Culver City, and I had just finished the bachelor's program for spiritual studies at Agape, and I'd presented, my final project was this play to do with Chernobyl. It's called The Heartbeat of Chernobyl, and it was a full production at the center. And Reverend Michael and all the wonderful ministers were in the front, and it was a success, and I was so moved. And at the end of it, I remember he was hugging me, and in the journal I wrote, Reverend Michael said today, I'm so proud of you. And I looked at him and said, in tears, what are we going to do next for the next program? And I think I even said something like, we just finished bachelor's, now is there going to be a master's, or who knows what? And he looked at me and he said, we're going to make a movie together. And he took off. Now, here's the funny part. I forgot that in 2006. 2022, I think that's when it was, maybe 23, I call him and say, Rev, I've had this vision. I've got to do this thing. I've got to create this film, and I've got to interview people, and can I start with you? And I get to his house, and he says, yes, you can start with me. Yes, come on over. I got to see his living room. Sorry, just have to say it. It's really beautiful. And so I come on over, we redo everything, and in it, he looks at me and goes, Kimberly. And I said, he goes, I'm producing this with you. And I went, I'm so glad. That's fabulous news. And I'm going to put you to work, Rev. And he goes, okay, great. Now, do you think I remembered that from the journal writing in 2006? No, The point is, Spirit did. And I was cultivating my consciousness all those years to prepare when I received the gift, like, now, Kim, move now. Is this making sense? Like, we have magical moments everywhere. So even if someone in the world thinks it is hocus pocus, please have the courage to live in your magic every moment. Because as you live in your own beautiful magic, whether it is journaling from years ago and catching notes, whether it's praying at the beach, whether it's with your family and just absolutely giving your healing love to your family in need, whatever it is, and you let go of that how and stay centered, and I'm building muscle to have faith in the midst of this situation. Even if I cannot see it, it will, by law, come through you to you because it must. Whatever you are looking for is already yours. It's already yours. Audrey Hepburn said something about nothing's impossible. The world itself is the I am possible. The world itself is saying, I am possible. May each and every one of us live in the unlimited nature of I am possible. May each and every one of us continue to aim and celebrate every breath of your magnificent creations, because there's only more to come, which is more magic. You are the magic wand, and I invite you to use it often, especially if owls show up on top of your chimney. It's always a good sign. All right, all of you, I want to bless you all this beautiful day in prayer. I want to bless you for being here. I'm so grateful to my Agape family and all of you for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm thrilled and grateful. Can we take a deep breath, please, as we go into prayer? Thank you for that. Just lean in this moment, lean in. Allow the perfect essence, God is, I am, to be what you are leaning into. In the purity of gratitude, I live and breathe and have my beingness. I'm grateful beyond measure for this miraculous life that each and every one of us is living. I'm grateful beyond measure to know that our ability to co-create with the Almighty Presence is always moving through us with divine articulation. I'm grateful to lean in, surrender, let go again and again and again. For I know that each and every one of us, as we let go again and again and again, there's more being birthed through each and every one of us this day. I bless my beautiful Agape community. I bless us live streaming. I bless us around the world, wherever we are at. I bless our hearts and souls are being lifted and gifted. That this day we are clear with our aim of what we are looking for. This day we are clean of any past perceptions that we have outgrown. This day we are absolutely willing to let go of any sense of trying to figure it out. We are more interested in the divine inspiration of God to guide us through, so that our co-creative ability continues to be grown and loved up. This day I celebrate peace. Beyond human understanding, I celebrate peace on this beautiful globe. I wrap it with light, I wrap it with peace, I wrap it with love, so that I know clearly, as we know here at Agape, that something magical is happening, something beautiful, healing, loving is happening, because we are holding the vibration of peace. Be still. It's happening in this moment. Oh, how grateful I am to bless Reverend Michael right where he is at, to humble gratitude for all the gifts that he so beautifully gives, that his let go of how allows him to be present, available, willing. How grateful I am to know that each and every one of us are filled with the light of love on this day and every day. As I pass this to my dear, dear Jamie.
Imagine we're in heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us, only sky. Oh, imagine all of the people, yeah, living life, loving life in peace.
Let me just read these beautiful names of individuals on our prayer list today. I'm accepting divine health and wholeness for Betty Ann Shannon, here and now, surrounding Betty with light and love. We at Agape are wrapping Richard Knapp in so much prayer for the release of his father, William, his sweet father who occupied his glorious body temple to the wonderful number of 102. We bless you, William, on your flight. Wrapping Michaela DePrince with so much love and light as she flies into another realm here and now. We know that her spirit is with us and always shall be. How grateful we are for the gifts she has given humanity. Pamingo Marilyn Griffin, blessing with such peace, such release, such love here and now. I'm accepting this. Howard, Frankie, Beverly, knowing that right where Frankie is, that there's an expansion of delights, of musical harmony. There's an expansion of knowing that the transcended moment, that love is still present. And a beautiful blessing for our James Earl Jones, the gifts he has given to this beautiful world. We bless him. We bless him as he sheds his body temple and flies free. How grateful I am to know that freedom is at hand. How grateful I am to know that families are comforted and loved up right now. How grateful I am to know that as we move and breathe in this divine existence, we move freely, and our loved ones that have left their body temples move with us freely. I am grateful for this as I bless us all. I bless this day. And with love may we lead forevermore. And so it is. Amen. Amen. Was that beautiful that Jamie came in with that song?